community passed away, sadly. And I just thought, in my small way, this would be something that I could do to pay tribute to him and to highlight the good that this man has done. Maybe a lot of people in the area wouldn't be aware of the importance of Baron Baker. But I thought I'd come in and invite a few of his own special friends as well to pay tribute to him, to talk about him, and to show him how much he is loved and lost. First of all, I'd like to welcome Charlie Phillips to the studio, who is a local entrepreneur. He's also my cousin, very, very rich, and he was a great friend of mine. Charlie, welcome to the studio.
Yeah, thanks a lot. You know, must be a sad day for me as well, you know. Me and Baker went back years and years and years, ever since I was a kid. I can remember him from 1956. He was a friend of my father, and we were all drinking. And up to this day, this is one of my recollection of him, you know. He's also in one of my books as well, you know, because I had to pay tribute to him in many ways, because not a lot of people recognize it, but to me personally, I thought he was a living legend in his time, you know. One of the saddest thing, I personally feel I never talked enough to him, and it's not till later years he started talking about his past life when he was in the Air Force, what he done during the war. He came here at 16, etc., etc. But some of the things he really kept back, you know. Even though he used to walk around the Grove, and you know, a lot of people didn't actually know who he was, you know. But he's a living historian, yeah, the historical mind which he has, you know, which has never been questioned or ever been researched, you know.
I mean, as well as the historical aspects of Baron Baker, he's also a humanitarian. I mean, he was very kind. He never turned his back, or indeed, he never closed his door to anyone who needed help.
Right, yeah. But you know, we used to, yeah, you know, another sad thing is that when I first was doing research for my first book, you know, he was questions, and most of the things that's been done about Nottingham Gate or Lapwood Grove, it's all been documented by other sources, you know. No one has ever seen our point of view, you know. So he did help me to research my first book, and he was one of the few who listened to me as well, you know. And when I did have my exhibition.
At this point, I'd like to point out to everyone that you're also a photographer.
Yes,
and when you're speaking about a book, it was actually a pictorial history of Notting Hill Gate people, especially the black community, but not exclusively the black community, but about Notting Hill Gate and the people in the area. So you were researching this pictorial history on this book, and how did Baron Baker help you?
No, well, as a kid as well, you know, I used to do photographer in Albany, yeah? And I've taken lots of photographs of him, you know. I always remember having my father buy me a Kodak Brownie. And as years goes by till I became professional and all that, I used to just take photographs of friends or people who's been in the community, yeah? At the time, in the 60s, everybody thought I was sort of crazy. Now, when it came to the 90s, yeah, and the 80s, 90s, all these photographs were stored under the bed, and it's amazing how it's become an historical thing now. You know, at the time, no one wanted it. But the main thing is, it was done from an Afro-Caribbean point of view, yeah? Everybody's got documented evidence about this, you know, Europeans, yeah, but they've, you know, it's never been done from the inside, from our own experience, you know.
Yeah. Especially a Jamaican perspective.
Yeah, yes, yeah, mine more, you know, and it's not till later years he started talking, and it's so sad I didn't document. I wish if I had a tape recorder, you know, because when we used to sit out in the corner in Lancaster Road and Portobello Road corner.
Achievements, but also a very personal friend, and he met Baron Baker in this country in the early 50s. This Mussu. Scott, also known as Mussu, welcome to the studio. Thank you very much for coming in. Now, your memories of Baron Baker, what's your first memory of him, for instance?
Baron is a warrior, fight for him food every day. Try to help people too. Young people, you know? Nice man. Helpful brother, you know? And he passed away, and I hope he get a nice burial.
Yeah, in the
In
late
the borough,
50s, yeah, in the
in
borough,
those days,
for a Jamaican
when
especially.
we hardly have any black people in the borough. It was a limited amount of us. And during the race riot, we stood up to them and never happened really. And Baron.
But it must have taken a special person to actually
Oh,
recognise.
wow. Anyway, you're
Yeah.
in trouble, Baron, find him.
Mm.
From you call him name, the police will find you for him. Like that.
What made him just decide to champion the cause?
Baron is the first welfare officer or welfare worker in this borough here. Go way back from the Air Force, and him try to help people, nice man.
Now, later on, we're talking about in the early 90s, he had an idea to help the youth in the area by giving them a training facility where they could go and either train or they could get employment, which was known as the Youth to Get Involved.
Wow, him let me go around to the little youths them and tell them about it and tell them what's there for offer to them. Some of them go, some of them don't. That's what I do for him.
Now, for anyone who's not sure about Prospects, it's still there on Labrador Grove.
Yes.
It's
a training.
Training
Center.
and youth centre, and it provides or helps to provide employment for youth in the area. So if you're jobless or you're looking about new opportunities for yourself, go and check them out. Prospects along Labrador Grove. Of Baron Baker. But let's look at the positives and if we can build on it, on the things that he started, that he had, not only towards black people in the area, but towards everyone. He was well loved. How can we actually build on a bona fide like that?
Well, you have to go and ask other people. All the people have on the stall, because he knows them for a very, very long time. Those people that sells on the Portobello Road, they know him just like me, And if you go and ask them to, they will tell you that he's a nice guy. You know what I mean? He would never want for food in Labrador Grove, Baron Baker.
Now, he was born in Jamaica,
Yes.
like yourself. And would you classify him as a typical Jamaican?
Yes, yes, he is. He loves his country, But he loves people too, because he came here and was in the Air Force in Alton, in the 40s, Came out and started to help black people who needed help. He needed help too, but he was a strong man. And he knows a few doors that if him go and knock it, it will open for them,
He was very well read, he was an intelligent man. And
Very,
he was also,
very.
He had a lot of contacts, I noticed.
Yes.
Well, one thing that sums him up really, when I actually sit down and try and think of maybe a sentence or two, or maybe a thought, what springs to mind is you can never judge a book by its cover, because they had Baron Baker, who was scruffily dressed most of the time, very sort of like unassuming. You wouldn't notice him if you didn't know him. And he had this wealth of information, wealth of knowledge, wealth of power, and a very, very kind and helpful man. And I think it should remind all of us that you don't know who you're passing by on the road. You don't know who they are, what they can do, or what they have done for you. So I think it's a lesson for us all to be kinder to each other. If you want any information about Prospects, the training scheme, give Grove FM a ring. They'll have all the information. And if you'd like to join us all in paying tribute to Baker, also contact Grove FM later on in the week, and I'm sure they'll have details on his funeral. It's been the ranking spirit of Grove FM. It's been my greatest pleasure, although one of the saddest days of my life too. Thank you very much, and I'll see you around sometime. Here's Bob Marley and the Wailers coming in from the cold.
All right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's your box set, yeah?
Yeah.